My last question. Over the last couple of months, I've got some, and I think this is the Crossing Bridges, or is that what it was? The Bridges of Peace, thank you. I think they put out a publication, and over the last 2 months there has been an increase in attacks, shall we say. And this is, I think, statistics from the IDF. 2 months, there's been 21 people killed, 74 stabbings, 10 shootings, 12 car ramming attacks. I'm assuming that might be at like checkpoints and stuff. 189 wounded and 20 seriously. And that's roughly since the beginning of October. Is this something that's like, is this always happening like this? Or is this something new and something different?
This is an escalation, and it's a bit of a new phenomenon because a lot of the attacks are stabbing attacks.
Yeah.
And vehicular terror, which is taking place a little bit at checkpoints, but more often at bus stops and hitchhiking stations,
Okay.
which are common in the West Bank.
Yeah.
It's a new phenomenon for this to be the main driver behind the terror wave. Because in the past, where you would have suicide bombings or even rocket attacks, it's far easier for intelligence to pick out those things before they happen. Some of them still get through, but you know, the number of suicide bombings that are stopped every month and every year would shock most people. These attacks are far more difficult to stop. You know, it's just an individual guy who can decide, you know, he heard something on the radio this morning, he's angry at the Jews, he's gonna go run over them.
Yeah.
And you know, there's no intelligence on that, so you can't respond to it until after it happens. So it's created a new type of fear because now you're forced to look at everyone with suspicion, and that's certainly the goal of the terrorists.
And it refers also to, I mean, there was 2 young girls, I think, recently. I don't know if it was 14 and 16.
Right.
They were around those ages. And one of them was shot dead by security forces, and the other one was, I think, wounded in the process of them trying to stab a man with, I think it was scissors.
With scissors.
Right. And it turned out the man wasn't even Jewish.
Right.
You know, so, like, on the ground, I know you haven't been there. I don't think you were there when this took place.
I was there when
you were there? Yeah. Okay. So, you know, does that have an effect on the populace?
It does, and again, the major effect is that, you know, everyone's been forced to look with suspicion at the other side. For instance, my wife works at the hospital, and half of the staff are Arabs and half of the staff are Jews. And because of this current wave and the form it has taken, everyone at the hospital is looking at each other with suspicion now, and it's creating this hostile atmosphere. Even if no Arab in the hospital would ever dream of being one of these stabbers, you know, a hostile atmosphere has been created because of what's taking place outside.
Yeah.
So it's having a very negative effect, unfortunately, despite the fact that in terms of numbers, the severity of it is not actually that great. It's having a very significant impact on society.
Okay.